In the neon-lit labyrinth of Tokyo, where the city never sleeps and shadows weave between towering skyscrapers, lived a young woman named Aiko. She was a delicate soul, a painter whose brush captured the fleeting beauty of moments. Cherry blossoms in bloom, the shimmer of rain on asphalt, the quiet loneliness of the city at dawn. One rainy evening, after a long day at her tiny studio in Shibuya, Aiko decided to take a shortcut through an old, narrow alley she had never noticed before. The alley was dimly lit, the walls covered in faded posters and graffiti, and a chill ran down her spine as she stepped inside. The usual bustling sounds of Tokyo faded, replaced by an eerie silence that pressed against her ears. As she walked deeper, Aiko felt an inexplicable sadness envelop her. Suddenly, a whisper brushed past her ear, soft, sorrowful, calling her name. She stopped, heart pounding, but no one was there. The air grew colder, and the shadows seemed to stretch and twist, forming shapes that looked like faces, eyes. Filled with pain and longing, Aiko's breath hitched as she saw a faint figure at the alley's end, a young woman in a kimono, her face pale and eyes hollow, standing as if trapped between worlds. The apparition reached out, and Aiko felt a surge of emotion, loneliness, despair, and a desperate plea for help. Over the following days, Aiko was haunted by the vision. The ghostly woman appeared in her dreams, silent but weeping, her presence both terrifying and heartbreaking. Aiko learned from an old shopkeeper that the alley was once the site of a tragic love story, a young woman betrayed and left to die, her spirit forever bound to the place where her heart broke. Determined to bring peace, Aiko painted the ghost's portrait, capturing her sorrow and beauty, and placed it in the alley with a small shrine of flowers and candles. As the first light of dawn touched the city, the apparition appeared one last time, a faint smile breaking through her tears before she vanished into the morning mist. But that night, Aiko awoke to a cold draft sweeping through her small apartment. The faint glow of her lantern flickered, casting long, twisted shadows on the walls. She felt a presence, heavier than before, darker, more desperate. The sorrowful spirit she had helped was not alone. In the mirror, her reflection blurred and warped. Behind her, a shadowy figure with hollow eyes and a twisted smile appeared. It whispered in a voice like the rustling of dead leaves, "You freed her, but you awakened me." Aiko's heart pounded as she realized the alley's tragic story was only part of a darker curse. The betrayed woman's death had unleashed a malevolent spirit, a vengeful entity bound to the alley, feeding on grief and despair. Days turned into restless nights. Aiko's paintings grew darker, her brush strokes frantic and wild. The ghostly woman's image haunted every canvas, her sorrow morphing into terror. The malevolent spirit began to invade her dreams, twisting them into nightmares of endless alleys, blood-stained walls, and faces screaming in silence. Her friends noticed her withdrawal, her pale complexion, and haunted eyes. But when they tried to visit, they found only an empty apartment, the door locked from the inside. Aiko was trapped in a world where reality and nightmare blurred. One evening, driven by a mixture of fear and determination, Aiko returned to the alley. The shrine she had made was shattered, flowers wilted and blackened. The air was thick with a choking fog, and the walls seemed to pulse with a life of their own. The malevolent spirit appeared, towering and grotesque, its voice a chorus of anguish and rage. "You cannot undo what was done. This alley is a prison for souls like hers, and now yours." Aiko fell to her knees, tears streaming, begging for mercy. The spirit's eyes glowed with a terrible light. To save yourself, you must take her place. In a moment of clarity, Aiko understood the price of her compassion. To free the ghostly woman, she had to become the new guardian of the alley, a spirit bound to its shadows, forever caught between life and death. With trembling hands, she lit a candle and placed it on the broken shrine. As the flame flickered, she felt her body grow cold, her vision dimming. The last thing she saw was the ghostly woman's smile, now peaceful, finally free. The next morning, passers-by noticed a new painting hung in the alley, a portrait of a young woman with sorrowful eyes, her expression both haunting and serene. Locals whispered that the alley was no longer cursed, but watched over by a gentle spirit. And somewhere in the heart of Tokyo, beneath the neon lights and endless rain, Aiko's soul wandered the shadows, a lonely guardian, forever entwined with the city's secrets, her story a chilling reminder of love, loss, and the price of compassion in a world that never forgets.